It was a sweltering summer morning in Manila when the Reyes family sat huddled around a small breakfast table, the aroma of garlic fried rice and scrambled eggs filling their tiny apartment. The clatter of dishes and the hum of a fan overhead created a rhythmic background noise to their quiet conversation. But beneath the mundane calm, an unspoken tension hung in the air. At 12 years old, little Mia Reyes fidgeted with her spoon, glancing at her older brother, Marco, and her younger sister, Lila. Their mother, Elena, sat at the head of the table, her hands wrapped around a chipped coffee mug, eyes distant. The diagnosis had come 2 months earlier. Breast cancer, stage 2. The doctors had been cautiously optimistic, but optimism could not erase the fear and uncertainty that now gripped their lives. Elena's illness changed everything. Days that were once ordinary became weighted with worry, and nights were sleepless, punctuated by hospital visits, whispered prayers, and the soft, trembling sobs of a mother who had always been the pillar of strength. Yet, the one thing that had always kept the Reyes family together, and sane, was music. Their small apartment, though cramped, resonated with harmonies and rhythms every day. Marco played the guitar with the deft fingers of someone far beyond his years. Mia had a voice that could melt even the hardest heart, while Lila's delicate keyboard melodies seemed to float in the air like sunlight through a window. Music was their refuge, their escape, and now, it had become their mission. It was Marco who first suggested it. "Mom, what if we sing for you? On TV." His voice was tentative, almost fearful of his mother's reaction. Elena looked at him, a soft smile tugging at the corners of her lips. "On TV," she repeated. Marco nodded, gulping. "AGT, America's Got Talent. We saw it online. We could, maybe audition. For you." Elena's eyes glistened with tears, but she shook her head, half in disbelief, half in amusement. "You want to go all the way to America, for me?" Mia jumped in, her youthful enthusiasm bubbling over. "Yes, Mom, we can do it. We can make everyone see how amazing you are. How strong." Lila nodded vigorously, her small hands clenching into fists of determination. Elena laughed softly through her tears. "My brave little singers, you really think you can?" She didn't say no, and in that moment, hope sparkled like sunlight breaking through clouds. The following weeks were a whirlwind. Their days were divided between school, Elena's treatment, and endless hours of rehearsals in their cramped living room. Marco strummed the guitar while Mia and Lila harmonized above him, the tiny apartment vibrating with energy and emotion. Each note, each chord, carried their love, their fear, and their fierce determination to give Elena something beautiful in the midst of her battle. They chose a song that spoke to their hearts, a ballad about strength, hope, and unbreakable bonds. Every time they sang it, their mother's hands would tremble, tears silently streaking her cheeks. By the time they submitted the audition video, the family had become a well-oiled musical machine, their voices entwined like threads of a tapestry, creating a sound that was raw, genuine, and deeply emotional. When they received the confirmation email from AGT, a simple, "You're invited to audition in Los Angeles," the apartment erupted in chaos. Screams, laughter, and tears collided, blending into a symphony of joy and nervous anticipation. Elena hugged each of her children tightly, whispering over and over, "Be safe, sing your hearts out, make me proud." Arriving in Los Angeles was like stepping into a dream. The city was alive with energy, its sprawling streets, towering buildings, and the kaleidoscope of people a stark contrast to their quiet life in Manila. The AGT headquarters were bustling, with hopeful performers everywhere, dancers, singers, magicians, and families from all corners of the world. The Reyes family, despite their nerves, felt a quiet confidence in their unity. They were small, yes, but together, they were unstoppable. Backstage, the children practiced their harmonies, the sound of their voices carrying over the hum of anxious performers. Marco leaned close to his sisters. "Remember, it's not about winning. It's about Mom, about us." Mia nodded, her small hand finding her mother's in a gentle squeeze. Elena's smile was both nervous and proud. "You already won my heart," she said softly, brushing back Lila's hair. When their turn finally arrived, they were ushered onto the stage, the bright lights blinding them for a moment. Simon Cowell, Sofia Vergara, Heidi Klum, and Howie Mandel sat poised in their chairs, faces expectant. The audience's murmur felt like a tidal wave. Marco inhaled deeply, strumming the first chord, a note that seemed to vibrate not only in the room but in their very souls. Mia's voice rang out, crystal clear and filled with emotion. Lila's keyboard added layers of depth, their harmonies intertwining like threads of a golden tapestry. They sang not for the judges, not for the audience, but for their mother, Elena, whose eyes glistened with tears, hands clutching the edges of her chair. From the first verse to the soaring chorus, the performance was a journey of raw emotion. Their voices trembled at times, carrying the weight of their love and fear, but they never faltered. Simon Cowell, known for his steely demeanor, was visibly moved. His hand hovered near his face, trying to mask the growing emotion, but by the final note, tears streamed down his cheeks. The audience rose, a standing ovation erupting in waves of claps, cheers, and whistles. Elena, overcome with emotion, sank into her chair, her heart swelling with pride and love for her brave children. The judges leapt from their seats, their applause thunderous. Heidi clutched her chest, sobbing softly. Sophia's eyes were wet with tears as she whispered, "That was magical." Howie's face was bright with joy, a wide smile stretching from ear to ear. And Simon stood silently for a long moment, his expression a mixture of awe and admiration. "That," he finally said, his voice thick, "was one of the most beautiful performances I have ever witnessed. You sang with everything, your hearts, your souls, and your love, it's undeniable. Thank you." The Reyes family embraced on stage, a tangle of arms and tears. Cameras flashed, capturing the moment when music, courage, and love collided to create something truly unforgettable. Interviewers later asked how they managed to bring such emotion to the stage, and Elena, her voice shaking, answered simply, "It's our love for each other, and the strength we find in family. Music is how we say what words cannot." Behind the scenes, life didn't magically become easier. There were still doctor appointments, medication, and long days filled with uncertainty. But the experience had given them a newfound resilience. Their performance had been more than an audition. It had been a testament to their journey, a declaration that even in the face of fear, love could create beauty that moved hearts across the world. News outlets picked up their story. Social media exploded with hashtags. Hashtag Reyes Family AGT, hashtag Filipino Family Magic, hashtag From Tears to Standing Ovation. Millions watched their audition, shared their story, and sent messages of support. Viewers were inspired not just by their musical talent, but by their unwavering devotion to each other, their bravery in confronting life's challenges, and their ability to turn hardship into art. In the weeks following their performance, the Reyes family became more than performers, they became symbols of hope. Invitations poured in for interviews, TV appearances, and special performances. Each time, they spoke of their mother, emphasizing the importance of family, love, and resilience. Elena, still battling her illness, found joy in every note her children sang, pride in their courage, and comfort in the overwhelming support of a world they had touched with their song. Their journey on AGT continued, each round more challenging than the last. Yet, they faced every obstacle together, their bond strengthening with every rehearsal, every stage, and every audience. And though the competition was intense, the Reyes family never lost sight of what truly mattered: their music, their love, and the unbreakable connection that had brought them from a small apartment in Manila to the bright lights of a global stage. Months later, when they finally took a moment to reflect, sitting together on a quiet rooftop in Los Angeles, Marco looked at his sisters and mother and said, "No matter what happens, we did it. We showed the world our love." Mia and Lila nodded, their eyes bright, hearts full. Elena, holding her children close, whispered, "And that is a victory greater than any trophy." Their story, a family united by love, courage, and music, had traveled far beyond the stage. It reminded millions of viewers worldwide that even in the face of life's greatest trials, hope, determination, and a song from the heart could move not only judges to tears but the entire world to stand in awe. And so, from the cramped apartment in Manila to the dazzling lights of AGT, the Reyes family's powerful performance for their mother became more than a competition entry, it became a legend. A reminder that love, resilience, and the courage to follow one's heart could turn tears into standing ovations, leaving an indelible mark on everyone fortunate enough to witness it. Their voices, forever intertwined, continued to echo the message that had carried them through every challenge. No matter how dark the storm, together, they could create a melody bright enough to illuminate the world.